just click on it, and you can place this annotation anywhere on the canvas. So this annotation is actually used for writing some text for the experiments, so that it will be a good clarity for you to understand. So I have placed it here. It is written write your notes here. So just click, and I'm just writing a LED blinking. Okay. So this is like a name of the program which we are just doing, and you can use other annotations to describe the individual components also. Like here, I'm writing LED. Here I'm writing resistor. Okay. So now before going to code section, we have to place our Arduino board here so that we can code in that board. So just search from here Arduino. So you will find the Arduino Uno R3 board. Just drag it from on the left side. So I am just arranging the components for clarity. So in this Arduino board, you can see here there are various pins. From the bottom side, you can see there is some reset pin. Then there are some power pins like 3.3 volt, 5 volt, ground, and V in. Then there are some analog pins on the bottom right, which are A0 to A5, so which they are used to sense some analog sensor. Like the we will be going through this in like the light sensor, gas sensor, potentiometer. So that will be using analog pins. And on the above side, you can see there are pins marked from 0 to 13. So they are the digital pins. So digital pins can be used for providing some signal either high or low. So there are total 14 digital pins which you can use. So you can connect your components to any of these pins. The same pins we have to specify in the code also. Yeah. And then we will be using some communications like transmitter and receiver pins that we will be covering in the subsequent experiments. Okay. So for this experiment, so this is a very basic LED blinking experiment. Just you have to connect the LED and the resistor with the Arduino. So how will you connect it? So whenever you have to connect an LED to a power source, so an LED is connected in series with the resistor to the power source. So how they are connected? The positive terminal, like this is anode of the LED. You have to connect this terminal to the positive terminal of the battery. Okay. And then the negative terminal, which is cathode of the LED, that you have to connect to the resistor, like this. So for connection, you just have to click on one terminal and then click on the second terminal. So that will be connected. Okay. And the other part of the resistor, the terminal one, should be connected to the negative power supply or the ground. Okay. So here we do not have to connect this LED to the power supply. So we will be connecting it to the Arduino. So how we have to connect this? We can connect to Arduino like this, terminal 1 of the resistor to the ground in the Arduino. Okay. If we connect this positive terminal anode of the LED directly to the 5 volt or 3.3 volt, so the LED will be always on. Okay. But we want to control the LED from the Arduino board using programming. So we do not have to connect this to the power. We have to connect to any of the pins from 0 to 13. Okay. Suppose I have connected it to pin 3. Okay. Now you can see you can adjust your connections also. Like you can drag the components if connections are not clear to you. Okay. And there is other way of connecting like I have deleting this connection. So suppose your LED is here, you have to connect to pin number 3 and you do not want to connect like a cross connection. So you can just move to the right, then make one click, then move to bottom and make click. Okay. And you can adjust the corners of the track also here like this. So it will be now in a straight line. It will show you the vertical and horizontal lines for this. Okay. So now the circuit will be looking nice, clearer to the previous one. So for writing the program of the Arduino board, Reddy sir have also already told you some of the functions like pin mode, digital write, digital read. Okay, so we'll have to write the program from here. In the right hand upper side, we have to click on code. Okay, here you can see there will be three types of options in the drop down menu. One is the blocks, then blocks for text plus text, and then is the text option. Okay, so the options which sir showed you was the text option. You can see there is a program using the pin mode and digital write like this. So you can use block options also. So in the block options, you have just drag the blocks from the left to the right like this. Okay. And if you are using a block plus text option, so you will be having two options here. So whenever you drag a block from left to right here, the same will be updated on the right hand side in the text option also. You can see here, this line is added. So it will always be syncing the blocks and the text part. Okay. So this mostly the block section is made for the some school kids, so that it will be easier for them and interesting for them for doing the programming. So we will be going to the text option here, and it is also difficult to do programming using the blocks when the program is large. So text option is always better than blocks. So before going to the actual programming, uh, I would like to show you how the Arduino works. So you can see there are two functions, setup and the loop. So how they are working, you sir has told you the setup is the function which is used for the initializations, and it is executed only once. Okay. And then there is a loop function which is executed uh, continuously multiple times when infinitely, and you can place the code which you have to run repeatedly. Okay. So for example, the pin mode, we have connected a LED and we have to specify the pin mode of that particular pin as output for the LED. Okay. So there is a pin mode function where you have to specify the pin number here. Okay. So we have connected to pin number 3. I will write it as 3 and then output. So there are two parameters in pin mode. What is a pin number? One is a pin number and second one is the type of the pin, whether it will be as an input or output pin. Okay. So because LED, we have to provide signal to the LED. So that means it will be output for the Arduino board. So we are writing here it as output. Okay. So, and there are the functions digital write, delay. There are two functions in the loop. They are called repeatedly. So how these two functions are working, setup and loop, in actual C++, you can see you have to make a main function which is called first, and then inside main the other functions are called. Okay. So in the Arduino also there is a main function which we cannot edit. I will just tell you what is the definition of that main function. So that main function is written in the Arduino IDE itself. We cannot edit that, but it is written like this: void main. So here they have done some initializations according to the board used. Okay. So whatever Arduino board you are using, there will be a hidden main function, and there will be some initializations according to that board. Then after, a setup function is called like this. So it will be the same setup function which we are making here. Okay. After that, there is a infinite loop, like while one. So in this infinite loop, the loop function is called like this. So it is the same loop function which we are making here. Okay. So whenever an Arduino program is compiled, it is also compiled using the normal C++ considerations. There is a main program, main function, and inside that there are some initialization according to the board. Then a setup function is called. Then in the infinite loop, the loop function is called. Okay. So here you can see setup is executed only once, and the loop function is executed infinite number of times. Okay. So I am just deleting this function as we cannot use this function. It will show an error. Okay, so coming to back to the setup and the loop functions. In the setup function, we have to write that statement that will have to be executed once. For example, we have written pin mode and the pin number 3 as output. Now in the loop function, we have to blink the LED. So blinking the LED means we have to turn on the LED, then wait for some time, then we have to turn off the LED, then wait for some time, and then again we have to repeat this process, turning on and off the LEDs, so that it will be visible as the blinking. Okay, so there should be enough delay so that we can see the turning on and off of the LED. And if you provide a very less delay, then you will not able to see the blinking. Instead, you will see a LED permanently on with a less brightness, because our eyes will not able to see such fast switching of the LED. Okay, so coming to the loop function. So we have connected LED to pin number 3, and the positive pin of the LED is connected to positive pin of the LED. So if we are not connecting this to pin number 3, so how we have to connect? We have to connect just this to the directly power supply of 5 volt. Okay, so it will be turned on. So instead of this, we are connected to a pin number 3. So we have to provide that power from the pin number 3. Okay, so that power is provided by this function digital write, and we have to provide here pin number 3 and then high. So high means it is providing a 5 volt on pin number 3. Okay, so this statement will turn on the LED. Okay, after that there is a function called delay, which is used to provide the which is actually used to wait for a certain amount of milliseconds. So we have written delay 1000. So it is like waiting for a 1 second or 1000 milliseconds. Okay. So when we are turning on a LED and after we are waiting for 1 second, so LED will remain on. Then after 1 second, we are again using the digital write function and making the LED off by providing the same pin number and low. So low means it is providing a 0 volt on the pin number 3. Okay. So low will always provide a 0 volt and high will provide a 5 volt or 3.3 volt depending on the board. So this board is providing a 5 volt, that is as this board works on the 5 volt logic. There are some boards which works on the 3.3 volt. So when writing high, they will provide a 3.3 volt. Then after turning off the LED, we are again waiting for 1 second so that the LED will be off for 1 second. Then we can delete these statements. These are not required. So you can see there are 12 lines of the program as used, and you can see only 5 lines of useful program we have written, which is digital write, delay, and the pin mode statements. Okay. Okay, so now you can see we have to simulate this program. So we can click here from start simulation. So you can see the LED is blinking with 1 second on time and 1 second off time. So here on the left side, you can see there is simulator time here. You can see it is showing the seconds, minutes and hours. So almost 30 seconds have been passed now. The LED is continuously blinking because the code was written in the loop function. Okay. And then this was our first program, and then we can download the same program. Okay. So here is the download button. We have to click here. So when we have to use the same program of the hardware, so we have to download this program here, or else you can copy paste also this program. After downloading this program, the IONO file will be downloaded, which you can open with the Arduino IDE and do the programming on the real hardware also. Okay, so in the subsequent section, I will show you that on the real hardware also, so that you will able to know how to program the real hardware also. So a sample program I will show. Okay. Okay, I think this will be enough information for making our first program. Okay. Okay. Now for the today's session there will be three topics covered: LED, push button, and the buzzer. Okay. So I will be just going to these three programs quickly, and then you will be doing the hands-on on that. Okay. Okay. So for the next program, I will show you the buzzer program. Okay. So for buzzer, you have to drag the buzzer component here. Okay. You can see it is written the piezo buzzer. You can drag this buzzer. Okay. So instead of LED blinking, I'm just using the buzzer. So buzzer will be on for 1 second and off for 1 second. Okay. So I am deleting this LED and placing this buzzer here. Okay. So you can see this is the negative terminal. So you have to connect the positive terminal to here. So there are two ways of connecting a LED or buzzer or any component which has positive or negative part, positive and negative terminals. The first one is the same. You connect the positive terminal, okay, to any pin number like this, and you connect the negative terminal to that resistor like this. Okay. Now you can see there's a same code you can run for the buzzer also, because it is also using the same digital logic. Either it is turning on or turning off. Okay. So we are using the same program and simulating it. After this, I will show you the other way of connecting the buzzer and LED. Okay, so you might not be able to hear the voice because it is very little, but you can see the buzzer is buzzing from the buzzer component. When it is showing some curved lines, it is sounding, it is buzzing. So it is using your laptop speaker for the sound. Okay. So it is turning on for 1 second and turning off for 1 second. Okay. So I'm stopping the simulation. So when you will run this code on your laptop, you will able to hear the voice of the buzzer also. Okay. Now I will show you the other method of connecting the LED or buzzer. So this is known as the positive logic. So where we have connected the positive pin to a signal where we are providing the positive signal like high to turning on the LED or buzzer. Okay. And we have connected the negative of terminal of the buzzer using a resistance to ground. Okay. So, but we can use the other combination also. For example, I'm just deleting this connection. Okay. So here you can just connect the negative terminal of the buzzer to the ground. Okay. Sorry, this was the earlier one. You can just connect the positive terminal of the buzzer directly to the 5 volt. Okay. And you can connect the negative terminal of the buzzer through resistance to any pin number like this, and the other terminal of the resistor to any pin like pin number 10. Okay. So now how the buzzer will be turned on? There is a power supply to the buzzer. So on the negative terminal, we have to supply the 0 volts. So from the digital pin, now we have to supply the low signal instead of high signal for turning on. Okay. So code in the code, just we have connected to the pin number 10. Here you can use any pin. So I'm just changing the pin numbers. Okay. And for turning on this buzzer, now we have to write low here and high here. So you will see the same effect. Uh, Buzzer will be turned on for 1 second and turned off for 1 second. But the difference is initially the buzzer will be on now using the low, and then it will be turned off using high loaded. Okay. So anyway, you can connect the buzzer or LED. Either fix the positive terminal of the component to the power supply like 5 volt and connect the negative terminal to any pin number so that we can turn on the component using the low loading. Or the earlier way where you can fix the negative terminal of the component to the ground and connect the positive terminal of the component to any of the pin where we'll be turning on the component using the high logic. Okay. So you can see simulating. So you can see on the buzzer, it is making some sound. Okay. So this codes are using LED buzzers, which are the output to the Arduino. So in the next program, we will be using a push button, which is input to the Arduino. Okay. So for input, what we have to do, we have to use the same function pin mode and use that pin number as input. Okay. So what we'll be doing in this program, we will be connecting a push button and turn the buzzer on or off when the push button is pressed. Okay. So you can drag the push button from right hand side. Here is the push button. So these push button you have seen in many of the devices, like in the keyboard, in the earlier mobiles. They are all the push buttons. So what is a push button? It is an input device which has generally two terminals, and when we press the button, so their two terminals are connected. Okay. So these two terminals are connected. Like you can see here, there are four terminals: terminal 2B, 1B, 1A, and 2A. So, but in actual button, there should be only two terminals. So you can see terminal 1A and the terminal 1B. So they are the same actually. Inside they are connected. Okay. So you can connect to either 1A or 1B. That will be the same thing. Okay. Similarly, that terminal 2A and 2B are the same. So you can either connect to terminal 2A or 2B. So how we have to connect the input to the Arduino? We have to, here we have to, for input we have to detect whether it is a high or low. We do not have to provide. So we will be using a digital read statement instead of digital write. Okay. So how we have to connect a push button? We have to connect. There are similar to LED and buzzer. There are two ways to connect a push button. So first way is to connect the push button in the pull down section and connect a resistor in the pull up section. So that means in the pull up section there will be a resistor which is connected to the power supply, and then after that there is a push button which is, so which pin we have to check? Pin number 4, because push button is connected to this pin. Sorry, it will take just one parameter, and we have to check if it is low. That means if push button is pressed, then we have to turn on the buzzer. Okay. So I'm just writing this statement. Okay. So if digital read pin number 4 is low, push button is pressed, we are making the buzzer on by writing digital write pin number 10 as low. And else, if the push button is not pressed, we have to turn off the buzzer. Okay. So now the delay statements are not needed. So you can see else digital write pin number 10 as high. Okay. That's a very simple program. And just starting the simulation here. Okay. So you will not be able to hear the voice, but I am just pressing the push button, and you can see buzzer is buzzing. So I'm releasing the push button. Now buzzer is stopped. Okay. So just we have to click on the push button for pressing it. Okay. Okay. Now these are the three topics which we will be covering today. Apart from this, you can see there is a one more LED, which is, sorry, RGB LED. First, we have to stop the simulation if you want to change anything in the code or the circuit. So you can see there is a one more LED. It is RGB LED. So I will just show you connection. You can make the program like the simple LED one. Okay. So you can see there are 4 pins here. R, red, then it's a cathode, means the negative terminal, then blue, then green. Okay. So it means there is a 3 LED in the single package. One is the red LED, second one is the blue LED, and third one is the green LED. So it is similar to like a simple LED where there is one anode and one cathode. So here there are 3 anodes, red, blue, and green, and there is one common cathode here because we do not need 3 separate pins for making it as ground. Okay. So this LED you can connect it on the one configuration because it has one cathode. You have just connected to the ground. Okay. You can just connect it directly to the ground, and you can turn on either red LED or blue LED or green LED as per your wish, and you can simultaneously on both the LEDs or all the 3 LEDs also. Okay. You can connect the anode pin to any of the digital pin of the Arduino. The code will remain same. Like you will still use the digital write statement for this. So it is connected to pin number 1. Just you have to specify pin number 1 here, and you can provide high or low signal here. And similarly, if you are to use pin number 2 for blue, and here you can specify, like you can turn on both the LEDs on the same time. So for turning on the LED, This has common cathode, so it will be turned on by high logic, like this. So everything will remain the same whether you are using a simple single LED or the RGB LED. It is just like a 3 LEDs. Okay. So the benefit of using this RGB LED, you can make any color with this LED. So by mixing the fundamental colors red, green, and blue, you can make any of the color. Okay. So this was the topics which were to be covered for the today, and now you can practice these programs. Okay. So tomorrow we will be covering some sensors and serial monitor and some other things. So for today, you first practice these three things: LED, push button, and buzzer. After that, we will give you some exercises according to this, because you have to do the hands-on by yourself so that you will learn it in a better way. So we will be providing you some exercises after you do this basic program. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
you are also added to all the 9 groups, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure.
Try to check one by one group. Are there any queries?
Yeah.
Okay, if there are any
Yes, sir.
common queries, then they have to be
Yeah.
specified in common.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. So you can now just practice these circuits. Go to Tinkercad, click on circuits, make a new circuit, and just start designing the circuit now.
I request all the participants to go through these 3 exercises. You have to do the exercise on your own by logging into your respected Tinkercad logins, and try to practice these 3 problems. If any problem, then post it in your corresponding WhatsApp group. Then the corresponding mentor or student volunteer has to bring that information to the notice of the resource persons. If it is to be solved locally, that is by the mentor or the student volunteer. Otherwise, that issue will be bring to notice of the resource persons. But initially, you try to practice it. Another announcement to the participants that 20 participants have not given their mails, Gmails. For that, we are unable to add them into Google Classroom. Okay, every day, there are certain assignments to be given to you. You have to complete the assignments, and you have to submit those assignments into the Google Classroom only. For that, every participant needs to be joined into the Google Classroom. Therefore, those who have not got any invitation to join into Google Classroom have to create a Gmail account and give it to the corresponding faculty mentor. So as we have to add you, we invite you to join into the Google Classroom.
I think if you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, sir, this session now we can close, or we'll be watching the WhatsApp group, or how you want us to?
Sir, as per your convenience, sir, if you want, we have to close this session, sir. They have to do their,
we'll
they have to do the. We will look after all the work, and if there are any queries, Then
Yes, sir. Yes.
we will try to solve them. Otherwise, we have to explain it in tomorrow's session, beginning
Yeah,
of
sure,
tomorrow's
sir.
session.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Then. Right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Garu, I will try to send an invitation with this mail ID. I think you have given the same mail ID for us during time of registration. Then there is no problem. Otherwise, I will resend an invitation to you to join into the Google Classroom. I will note down your mail ID. RADK 1970. Sorry.
Chandrasekhar sir.
I request all the participants to stay for some time after completing your hands-on session. if any problem, then bring it to the concerned WhatsApp group, your group. The mentor or the student volunteers have to take care of assisting you in solving your problem. Moreover, after completing this, you have to submit on the feedback form and attendance form also. At 5 o'clock, I will share these two at 5 o'clock in chat. Then you just click on that and submit the feedback form as well as attendance form. Before that, there is a short assessment test for you regarding the basic IoT concepts. This is not for assessment. This is just for relaxing and just have a fun with that test. Just 5 questions I have to give you. Then you have to answer using Mentimeter. 5 to 5. I have to give you the test. You are all have to attend for the test. This is not for assessment. Just for fun and just for relaxing. Okay. After that, I will send the feedback. Those who have not joined in Google Classroom have to give that information to your concerned faculty mentors group, and I have to receive all such information and try to send you links by today 6 p.m. Everyone with valid Gmail account have to get